I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer Great One. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
I love my nerd podcasts. I love, and then even though you may not have an interest in video games or movies or anything like that, it is one of the foremost and interesting fronts in the war against cultural Marxism and the culture war. And just kind of like, well, what are we fighting for? Not money or land or anything like that, but like, what really is this what our culture is going to be? Is this who's going to now the law, the law of free market, the free market will decide what's going to win, and it ain't going to be woke diversity horseshit. I'll tell you that, because they're losing lots of money. But it is fascinating to watch these money obsessed corporations just quintuple sextuple down on politics as a product, whether it's trace-based or feminism or whatever, and just go time and time again with woke horse shit. And then, oh, man, I don't get it. I don't get it. And then everyone's like, waiting, okay, your corporations, you could turn around on a dime, right? And just this lethargic, painfully slow turning of a weighted down oil tanker against the wind to maybe getting back. Like, no, it is and hat tip to the academic leftists who successfully brainwashed a generation of employees and business majors into thinking that politics was more important than profits. Bravo. It is absolutely amazing to watch the products that come out of it. But more recently, if you care to hear about the front lines of the culture war in Nerdville, Halo, if you remember that video game, that was a Microsoft product, still is a Microsoft product. The development team, the development studio, the people put in charge of that, the most recent person put in charge was by far a token throwaway diversity hire. It is the stereotypical large and in charge fat black woman. We're going to get to the stereotypes later here a little bit. She is, of course, gay. It's on her profile, LinkedIn, and everything else. And for those of you who are currently in the trenches with me on this war, you say, well, she seems to have significant experience at Microsoft. No, she's a UX person. User experience. You know, UX, IX, I think means interactive experience. User UX, like, what is that? That just means people who trial run the interfaces of websites. What is the user experience? It's not IT. It's not STEM. It's bullshit. UX is bullshit. I think even got someone long ago pay me to look like, hey, is UX, is that a real field? I'm like, I've seen the acronym. Let me look it up. Like, no, it's customer service. Like, here's a product. Try it. What do you think about it? Got 20 years user experience. So like not a real degree, no real math. I just feel, you know, they got marketing panels that survey people on that stuff. So this is not a mission critical. This is not a developer. This isn't a programmer. This isn't a fellow nerd. And it is so, it's like, okay, here we go again. And they put this gal in charge of turning around Halo, which used to be very popular 20 years ago, and the brand is kind of eh. And everyone jumped on it. everyone jumped on it like, what the fuck, Microsoft? Yeah, it's okay now. You could start making good video games again. And I think the vast majority of the audience, black people included, are kind of like, you know what? That's great. You hired her. Can I get a fucking decent video game, please? And again, it's intellectually fascinating where it's like, wow, you're gonna double down on that. It's not my money you're costing. It's yours. It's just shareholder. You want to go ahead. Let's have more pride flag armor in the Halo video games. Hang on. Can we get an intermission of the movie so I could go take a piss, take a shit, get myself another big old bucket of popcorn because it's just going to keep on going on. But it did dawn on me, and every once in a while you got to kind of step back from whatever the context of the narrative or the script or whatever. And I looked at it, and it's become a trope now. It's become a joke. It has become a like a super stereotype now, where we got a large and in charge fat black woman who's a lesbian. No fucking joke. It's a punchline now. And when you start to get to stereotypes and punchlines, like that's not a human anymore. That's just the thing. That's an NPC. It's a script. It's like kind of an object. It's not that you necessarily lose humanity, but you've now separated the individual from the role society has now conditioned that person or put that person into play. And because of the volume of the large and in charge black woman DEI hires and all that, forget the politics of it and forget DEI or the intentions or the absurdity. I'm taking more of an approach from the law of supply of economics, where if you get too much of one thing, the value of it goes down, right? This isn't to say black women have no value. This is to say if you're a lesbian, you have it. You're missing my point. My point is more along it's just the law of diminishing returns. Okay. Let's say you're really thirsty, right? You went on a long hike with Cappy in the Badlands, and we were looking for fossils and agates. It was 98 degrees. What are you going to put a price on a glass of water? A nice cool glass of water. Oh boy, you drink that glass of water. That's like the best glass of water you've probably ever had. And it's been a long day and you're still dehydrated. You'll probably drink 3 glasses, good full glass of water. They'll be great. And then I ask you, do you want a 4th glass of water? And you're like, yeah, okay, sure. I mean, it's not as going to be as the first 2, but I'll have a 4th one, sure. But if we get up to the 10th one, you're like, dude, oh, no, I'm fine. No, I don't want it. And it starts to, if not lose value, oftentimes, I mean, technically, if you drink so much water, you'd throw up or something, I don't know. Or you'd be like, no, I'm full. It's starting to cause me pain. Now you get no value. And that's the problem with flooding a market with anything. And if we step back and look at it from kind of like a marketing perspective, what have we done but flood the market with black, female, oftentimes not straight, with lesbian, trans, doesn't matter. Because that, according to the DEI marketing heads, the DEI strategists, that's the most diverse. That's the pinnacle. There's the hierarchy, and no one really states it, but we know it's all there. Where, okay, are you black? C minus. You're a black male, C minus. I mean, you pass. You pass. Oh, black female. Well, B plus. Black female lesbian. Oh, A. And then the chalice, the golden chalice. Black female lesbian disabled. And then all the people who have the degree in marketing and DEI masturbate to the idea. Like, and there's a fucking statue or whatever. And because that's the foremost and the pinnacle, just as the mindless MBA marketing automatons that they are, they just flooded the market with it. Now, where did they flood the market? You could see it in advertising. I'm saying it's all large wheelchair bound lesbian black women. That's not the point. But holy fucking shit, whether it's advertisements, certainly video games, which is typically a male dominated field, that the majority of your consumers are going to be men. The movies, it's just too much. And very, very similar, yet adjacent to it, probably even more, not so much in video games. In the video games, we're getting the large and in charge, stereotypical black woman. Okay. We've reduced them to that. But if you go outside the video game nerd world, in advertisements, you start to see an equally overused stereotype or profile of a human being, and that would be the mixed race girl. If you want to see a perfect example of it, look up the poster "Women Are Perfect." And the reason they do that is not maybe even so much political, but if you have it, instead of advertising to individual racial or sex groups or things like that, like let's say you're in a Asian neighborhood. I remember this long ago. If you were in the quote, the Asian neighborhood, there'd be Asian people on the billboards. If in the black neighborhood, there'd be black people on the billboards. You're advertising to that local demographic. Marketing people, this has nothing to do with politics. This is just short-sighted cost savings. Look, we're going to save money. Let's get a generic mixed race person who has a little bit of everybody in them, yet appeals to no one, right? And that has kind of epitomized itself in the form of your stereotypical mixed race female, right? And you got mixed race couples, that kind of thing. And it's not, a lot of people think, oh, they're doing it to agitate or provoke. And maybe I really think it's like, oh, hey, you got to understand how dumb marketing people are. Well, that person is part this, and that. So we got these 4 groups of people covered. And then that guy she's married to, he's part this, and that. So we got the other 4 groups of people covered. And then have a flamboyant gay friend, OMG, he comes in the movie. We covered everyone. It's like, yeah, yet you appealed to no one. Go look up old Newport cigarette advertisements. I remember them as a kid. They were on the billboard. And I'm like, why are those 32-year-old people so happy on a boat? Because of the things they're smoking. I don't get it. But the point still remains there. They have flooded the market so much with one type of stereotypical person that now all we see, and here's where you might be smarter than the average bear. You might know, oh, they're doing it just to be agitating and provocative and annoying. But to the average Normic Conformity, and perhaps even unconsciously to yourself, if you see too much of something, you get sick of it unconsciously. For example, then the latest Halo fat girl arm, black girl armor comes out, I have a natural revulsion. Not so much because it's a black woman, but because it's just so fucking much. It's the same fucking thing day in, day out. It's like you young guys going on a date and you get another girl who has her degree in journalism and OMG, I have some student loan debt and I just love Hillary Kamala and I have a car loan and it's a flooded market. And whereas you could at one time, let's go back maybe 2010. At one time, you could have sold pretty much everyone on a black female main character in a video game or protagonist, right? Now she would have to be hot. Sorry, that's just genetics. That's just biological programming. But if you had some gal who was the cool black gal, probably 1970s blaxploitation stereotype, all right, or just some like a real kind of incarnation, and she was cool. You probably, oh yeah, we the default because I'm gonna have my comic book, the Milfy Avenger or Trades Gal, and she's gonna have her buddy Soul Sister, and you get people like, yeah, I played Soul Sister. That character, yeah, it was kind of cool. She had decent weapons, whatever, a great visual aesthetic and all that. Yeah, it was cool. We enjoyed playing that, and now it's an insult. It's meant to provoke you and agitate you because we're just making them purposely ugly and repulsive and disgusting. But also on a platform stereotype of insert standard large and in charge black woman here, people are now developing a revulsion, not to necessarily black women in general, but the idea of it as marketing. However, and this is where it gets to the Normic Conformity types, do they discern? Really? Do they discern? I remember a buddy of mine telling me about, I forgot what country, he's somewhere in South America, maybe it was Mexico, which I know it's not South America, some Spanish-speaking country. And he was talking about how on one of their Spanish soap operas, the telenovas, um, the actor was playing a guy, and the guy left his wife in the show. The show, right? Not the actor. He's the actor. Well, he got accosted in public because his character in a TV show did something bad. There's a lot of dumb people out there. They cannot differentiate between the actor who's just doing his job and the character he plays on TV. You know, like, well, it was a little bit different because it was Misery, where she's like, you have to write this person back, and she kidnaps the author and all that. A lot of people can't differentiate. And when you flood the market with one type of thing, whether it's a product, whether it's a color, whether it's a hairstyle, or whether it's a type of person, people are going to naturally get an upchuck and sick of it. They're going to say, I'm fucking sick of that shit. Even though they may not differentiate between, well, okay, there's black women out there, but they're not all these fucking clownish cartoon characters. When I think about, there's some black women I know in my life where it's like, oh shit, we have flooded the market so much with large in charge, trademark, not even a fucking human being. Trademark, large in charge black woman, that now I'm starting to wonder, is society just starting to develop a distaste overall for black women in the real world, right? Acolyte, for example, fuck off. Just fuck off. And you could even say to by extension, women in general, because it's all girl boss. That's all we fucking see. Sure, fine. I can differentiate between an idiot on the screen, like a character, and the actress, and the average girl I see on the street. Can the average guy, though? Doesn't help. It's also, you're pushing it in people's faces. There's going to be a natural revulsion, a rejection. And my question is, are people going to be able to differentiate between individual people out in public and the horse shit we see that's being thrown at us, whether it's advertising, movies, video games, television, and all that? Because you guys see her occasionally, Erica Shanta Williams, really, I know it's subtle and maybe one might say conspiratorial, but if you keep shoving shit in people's faces, are people going to say, oh, yeah, they're just going to default to the actual stereotype? Oh, she's just large and in charge black woman. Oh, typical black gal. And that's almost the opposite that these DEI people probably wanted to have at some level. I think they just wanted to piss people off and be insufferable pains in the asses. But they also probably thought, oh, we're going to get a bunch of girls into the acolyte. We're going to get a bunch of women. We're going to get a bunch of black girls. Look at all the black women. Oh, look, black and women large and in charge. And now you're starting to condition the general population unintentionally as a side effect, like, we're fucking sick of this shit. So now I got to worry about people that I know. Not like, I'm not worried about people grabbing pitchforks and torches, but through media condition, you've flooded the media with so much of type A. Now people have an unconscious kind of bias against people type A. Even though Erica's Classy Climb, please subscribe to her channel, is busting her ass off. She's a cowgirl, shooting guns, investing in real estate. There's the Black Calamity Jane. I can't mention her real name, but she lived in Wyoming. She loved, she still loves guns. She got an RV, drove across the country. I know these people personally. These aren't Marxist, leftist, girl boss, horseshit pain in the asses like they're portrayed on media. And that is the main drawback that we have here. Hollywood, video game development studios, Canadians especially, I'm going to go into that later one of these days. You've portrayed black women as like this one narrow aspect of them. They're insufferable. They're all leftist. They're whiners. They're large and in charge. And and of course we have to have lesbian, gay, and all that. And that's fine, if they're cool people. Remember The Individual? Do you guys remember The Individual? There was a guy who said something about content of character and our color of skin, but fuck that guy, am I right? It's all about color of skin and whose dick you like or whose genitalia you like to lick. You people in Hollywood, you leftists might think that's brave and amazing. That's what you want. The rest of us are like, what the fuck is that? Wait, you got, let me look her up. She was married to, I think Mike Tyson briefly. Robin Givens? Robin Givens. Yeah. I forgot what show she was in. And she's still an attractive gal now. She was good looking. Where's that? Where is a Robin Givens or a modern day incarnation? Or I'll give you another example, modern day attractive young black woman. She conservative talk gal, Candace Owens. I disagree with some things about, generally I agree with her, but Candace Owens, why isn't she put up there? What put her in a video game? Put her in a fucking movie. All right. And no doubt we don't see attractive black women anymore in movies and television because the left, and this is the main defining thing, it's leftists in charge of it. And they got to get the loudest, fattest, most obnoxious, most pain in the ass, provocateur, stereotype, plaster it all over media. And now the rest of society is like, I don't want no more of it. And unfortunately, might throw the baby out with the bathwater. Because here's what we have now, which this is what you all get to think about, especially you creatives out there. Ghost of Yote is, quote, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is a very popular, one of the most excellent video games I've ever played. Top 3. It's a samurai game in feudal Japan, and they're fighting off the Mongol invasion, and the main character was a guy. And then I have the Ghost of Yote, and it's a different island. Yote, Tsushima is an island. I think Yote is an island. And the main character in this one, even though the video game has not been released, they've settled on it's going to be a female protagonist. In times past, no one would have blinked an eye. Like, oh, cool. Samurai babe. All right, yeah. Cool. Let's go. All right. Now we all got to wonder. And we don't have to wonder. I mean, the voice actress, of course, is a leftist. But it's not even wondering. I misspoke. You have conditioned everyone to have a natural revulsion or at least a suspicion of female characters in your movies, in your entertainment. That guy's like, oh, fuck, another girl boss. You go back in comics, like every comic, there was a girl version. Superman and there's Supergirl, right? And no one could play, oh, man, Supergirl. Everyone loves Supergirl. The Hulk, and you have She-Hulk. There was no one like, oh, yeah, it's a female version. Oh, cool, man. Yeah. Now, because of all the politics and the conditioning and the stereotyping, and you just hate your audience because leftism drives you most. And there's been that's another thing that's really put a lot of all these actors and actresses, diverse or not, that have been associated with these woke projects. You've ruined their reputations because the projects suck. The products suck. And that, go look at everyone who starred in the latest trilogy of Disney. And I'll show you all the actors who had their acting careers destroyed by Disney. I hope they saved their money. Disney did them no favors attaching these actors and actresses to a shit product. Not at all. And now it's the same thing. You have so flooded the market with wokeism in general, but whether it's stereotypical large and in charge black woman or girl boss, which different stereotype that's been flooded enough too. That here you have that 15 years ago, no one would have batted an eye. Like, oh, cool. Chick samurai. All right, let's go. I can't wait. Different thing, different gal, different adventure. Who are they fighting now? And now it's like, because you flooded the market with too many girl bosses. And now none of us can have good things like a female superhero because you've tainted that genre with politics. And I am a little bit concerned how much you throwing up a bad leftist ugly stereotype of black women is now going to have an effect on all black women, because that's how we consume the meat. I don't go hang out at the black woman club, in part because we're in South Dakota. There ain't a lot of black people here, but there isn't a black woman. Not a lot of black women. Not, if it was a black woman club, it wouldn't be allowed in it. So the majority of people with their interaction, they're going to see what you throw up on the screen. And if you keep throwing up the same type, and it's ugly and antagonistic and look out and all that, you're going to unfairly color everyone's opinion of black women in the general population. We could turn this all around. Put me in command. What was the quote, Captain Jack Sparrow? Put me in command, and you can achieve the rank of Commodore. That's it. Just put me in command. Give me your student. Look, watch. Okay. Borderlands 4. It's going to be woke fucking shit. It's going to be woke girl boss fucking shit. Because Borderlands 3 was pretty woke. But I love the video gameplay. I love the way it looks. It's like this perfect video game. All you got to do is not be political. You got guns. Right? The whole game is just about all the different gun collections. And you know what? Make some hot chicks. And I always said that you got guns and armor, right? You go get a company like Yandy, which is a lingerie company, say, we want your sexiest lingerie outfits. We will actually put them in the stores, and it'll be an all-girl female team, and then the guys can dress up their girls in like different lingerie outfits. Me and the Great One were talking about this last night. And ironically, the skimpier the outfits get, the higher the armor class, the more protection. Like, here's the string bikini with pasties. You're invincible. But we don't want men to look at women that way. Too fucking bad. That's how men look at women. And we can all have fun, and you can make money. You can put it in there or not. I don't care. But the wheelchair-bound, ridiculous amount of different flags, politics, not fun shit, no one's going to like that. But you put me in charge of Borderlands 4, I'll make everyone real popular. Everyone's going to have a good old time. But no, we can't do that. And it's kind of, be careful what you wish for. I know, God, that's a really good question. Is the woke leftist intention to actually help black women or minorities, a disadvantaged group? Or is it just to get back? Is it just petty envy? Because that's what communists really are at the end of the day. You're too lazy to go work a fucking job. You're too lazy to go work and do anything good. This is why your video games and movies suck. You don't have work ethic or skills. You're just putting it in there to agitate people? Well, did you think about what that might do to the people you claim to be helping? Like I said, it's kind of like, it's a weird battlefront. It's kind of like, why are you doing that? You're almost trying to help them. Like, why are you doing that? Okay, go ahead. Waste another $1 billion. No, we need more girl boss. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy, keep making them, man. You go keep making your shit. Just keep on making it. You're just like, you don't interrupt your Sun Tzu. You don't interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. Kind of like, yeah, all right. Just wait for you to come out with the latest horse shit. But yeah, I mean, there's another, look at how much damage Rachel Ziegler has done to the reputation of young women. I mean, look at that. Just look at the Acolyte. What is like, that's another issue. That with Acolyte, Ziegler, among other younger actors, what are they doing to the reputation of young people? That's maybe a different discussion, but kind of the same thing where, dude, I don't trust a girl who's 25. I'm not going to trust a 25-year-old girl. Well, that's kind of unfair now, isn't it? Because there might be a 25-year-old girl out there who works hard and what degree in engineering and is worth it. But if all we see thrown up in front of our faces is a bunch of fucking idiots, and you're like, oh, look, but they're whatever, Hispanic or gay or whatever. Like, some people say, no, that's what you threw up, right? I'm not going to assume everyone's like that. Average person, not so much. All right, let's go to the super chats. Jewel, $5. Thank you for going over this topic. No problem. We got a black. Look at that. Look at that. That's some nice artwork. We might have a black gal in the audience. Shh! Don't tell anyone. Lesser Weevil, $5. It's officially been 1 year since A World Without Men. What do you think now, looking back? I mean, what do you mean? Think what? It's been a year. It's not a long time. Is it just a history book for post-apocalypse? Been fun. My books. I mean, it depends on what society does. I could just tell you what's going to happen in the future, not when. Enjoy the Decline happened rather about a decade. Worthless, about a decade. Sanity is the Future of Wealth. That's going to be about 20-25 years. And in A World Without Men, I'm probably going to be dead by the time things get bad enough. It might have a resurgence. It might be like, well, look at this book this guy wrote over here. It's going to take a while. Unfortunately, being the good economist that I am, I'm going to be the ahead of his time. Like he was ahead of his time. Whereas I've said many times before, I don't want to be ahead of my time. I want to be in my time. So you all realize what great fucking books I write. So I make all my money now. It's not going to do me any good to become popular after I'm dead. Like my book should be going viral. I don't want to be ahead of my time. But unfortunately, it's going to look that way. But yeah, that one I'm very proud of because of the research and the numbers and the calculations. I'm like, that's gonna bear out. That one's gonna have some pretty good predictive value. But unfortunately, I won't be around where. Oh, wait a minute. We got to go back to doing what in order for the men to work again? It's really what it's going to boil down to. Because that's what it's always been. Andre, last name I can't pronounce, 5 Brazilian reals. Aaron once said, we need games with chicks and guns. China, Korea, hold my girls, Frontline, Blue Archive, gotchas about chick. Hold my girls, Frontline. And it's free. Blue gotchas about chicks with guns. Okay, so girls Frontline. Look, here, if this is one of them mobile apps, I want no more. I want an old school shoot 'em up, first person shooter, which again, I keep referencing Borderlands because it's got everything. It's there. It's there. It's got a lot of guns, a lot of creatures, a lot of enemies, tanks or jeeps. And all you got to do is you want female protect, make them pretty, put them in there. Every guy's going to play them. You can unlock different girls. They're not things to be on. Okay, and that's why no one's buying your shit. It just, see, girls want you to like them only the way they want you to like them, which is, I don't know, we shake your hands and say, congratulations, we respect and admire you. And what a fun time we're all having. No, here's what's funny is if you look at the video game media, leftists in general, they literally want us to be racist and sex. Like, oh my God, you're a Hispanic, Latina, lesbian, quadriplegic. You're so brave. Oh my God. Wow. It's not like what you do or what effort you put in. No personality. But that's ultimately what every leftist wants. They don't want to work and they just want to be valued for the way they were born. Because again, I demand UBI for being part of the brown-eyed people group. I'm oppressed by the blue-eyed, hazel-eyed people group. Therefore, I need reparations. Like, no, you're just a lazy sack of shit who wants free money based on a trait you were born with. I can see it. What's worse is these people, they not only do they want free shit, like victim, give me the money, blah, blah, blah. They actually want to be valued based on that. Like, think how hollow your life would be if all your value came from the fact you were left-handed. Oh my God, I'm writing books. Like, imagine taking left-handedism, which is absurd because the concept is absurd, and taking it to the level of women's studies where you get a PhD in left-handed studies just because of the way you were born. And you just have to look at any old feminist with a women's studies degree. Yeah, they're pissed off and miserable because everything is about a thing they didn't achieve. It's just, oh, you were born a woman. No, nothing bad, nothing wrong with that, but it's not like, "Oh my god, you're brave and amazing because you got a different thing between your legs. OMG." Fuck, how sad a life. Free gender, 20 generous dollars. The prodigal son is Christianity without teeth. Yes. I hate the prodigal son story. I hate it. Go ahead and live as sinful as you want. Don't worry, your family will always take you back as a loser. Born again Christian gals even throw you a party, but Mr. Successful, we will do nothing for you. Yes. 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 I that I already knew Christianity was bullshit when they were like fucking jamming it in my face in parochial school and I'm going to burn in hell because I want to play with a truck or just not be in school. When I saw how mean and evil these teachers were at a parochial school, like, oh, fuck you people. Yeah, but that prodigal son story, I'm like, wait a minute, what? I got my loser son back. All right. What do we got? Link below. Sanity is the future of wealth. If you're thinking everyone is insane, you're right. Everyone is insane. At least the people putting pictures up on the screen. No. Fat, large, and in charge black women in halo armor that's not a thing. That's not real. I mean, Halo is not real, but in the theoretical world of Halo, no, they would not be what is it? Not a sentry. What do they call it? A Spartan. It's not a thing. Nope. But by all means, Hollywood, keep on, and the Canadian video game developers keep on making shit. It ain't our money you're wasting. It's your time in your life. And sadly, you're also becoming ridiculable. Like you're publicly known to be a failure. Just jokes. All right. See you guys later, Toodles.